National Electrical Code Section 406.3d addresses ground fault circuit interrupter protection for receptacles in indoor commercial kitchens. Specifically, all 125-volt single-phase 15 and 20 ampere receptacles installed in indoor commercial kitchens must have ground fault circuit interrupter protection for personnel. This requirement is designed to enhance electrical safety in environments where water and electrical equipment are commonly used together, increasing the risk of electrical shock. However, there are exceptions to this rule. Firstly, receptacles on a dedicated circuit for appliances or equipment that are not portable and are cord connected are exempt from this ground fault circuit interrupter requirement. Examples of such equipment include ranges, ovens, steam tables, and refrigerators. These appliances are typically hardwired or cord and plug connected in a manner that minimizes the risk of ground faults and are often subject to other safety standards. Secondly, receptacles for appliances or equipment that are not used in food preparation and processing are also exempt. This includes items such as microwaves, coffee makers, and toasters, which are often located in break rooms or office areas within the commercial kitchen but are not directly involved in the preparation or processing of food. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are devices designed to protect individuals from electrical shock by monitoring the current flowing through a circuit. If a ground fault is detected, the GFCI quickly interrupts the power supply, preventing a potentially dangerous electrical shock. Ground faults occur when current leaks from a circuit to ground, often through a person's body if they come into contact with a live conductor and a grounded surface. The use of ground fault circuit interrupters in commercial kitchens is particularly important due to the presence of water, metal surfaces, and the potential for spills and splashes. These conditions can increase the risk of electrical shock, making ground fault circuit interrupter protection a critical safety measure. The National Electrical Code provides specific guidelines for the installation and use of ground fault circuit interrupters in various locations, including commercial kitchens. These guidelines are intended to ensure that ground fault circuit interrupters are properly installed and maintained, providing effective protection against electrical shock. When installing receptacles in a commercial kitchen, it is important to carefully consider the requirements of the National Electrical Code and to ensure that all applicable ground fault circuit interrupter requirements are met. This includes selecting the appropriate type of ground fault circuit interrupter for the application, properly installing the ground fault circuit interrupter, and regularly testing the ground fault circuit interrupter to ensure that it is functioning correctly. It is also important to educate employees about the importance of ground fault circuit interrupter protection and how to use ground fault circuit interrupters safely. This includes training employees on how to test ground fault circuit interrupters and what to do if a ground fault circuit interrupter trips. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure the safety of employees and customers in your commercial kitchen and prevent potentially dangerous electrical shocks. In summary, the National Electrical Code Section 406.3d requires ground fault circuit interrupter protection for all 125-volt single-phase 15 and 20 ampere receptacles installed in indoor commercial kitchens, with certain exceptions for dedicated circuits and non-food preparation equipment. Understanding and complying with these requirements is essential for ensuring electrical safety in commercial kitchen environments. It is also important to note that the National Electrical Code is updated regularly, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. You can consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code or consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that your electrical installations are in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. The purpose of the ground fault circuit interrupter is to minimize the likelihood of dangerous electrical shocks. A ground fault circuit interrupter works by monitoring the balance of current between the hot and neutral conductors in a circuit. In a normal circuit, the current flowing through the hot conductor should be equal to the current flowing through the neutral conductor. However, if a ground fault occurs, some of the current will flow through a different path, such as through a person's body to ground. This creates an imbalance in the current between the hot and neutral conductors, which the ground fault circuit interrupter detects. When the ground fault circuit interrupter detects an imbalance in the current, it quickly interrupts the power supply to the circuit, typically within a fraction of a second. This rapid interruption of power can prevent a potentially dangerous electrical shock. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to be highly sensitive and can detect even small ground faults. This makes them an effective safety device for protecting individuals from electrical shock. There are two main types of ground fault circuit interrupters: receptacle type ground fault circuit interrupters and circuit breaker type ground fault circuit interrupters. Receptacle type ground fault circuit interrupters are installed in place of standard electrical receptacles and provide ground fault circuit interrupter protection at the point of use. Circuit breaker type ground fault circuit interrupters are installed in the electrical panel and provide ground fault circuit interrupter protection for an entire circuit. Both types of ground fault circuit interrupters are effective at preventing electrical shocks, but receptacle type ground fault circuit interrupters are often preferred for use in commercial kitchens because they provide protection at the point of use, where the risk of electrical shock is greatest. The National Electrical Code requires that ground fault circuit interrupters be tested regularly to ensure that they are functioning correctly. Receptacle type ground fault circuit interrupters typically have a test button that can be used to simulate a ground fault and verify that the ground fault circuit interrupter is tripping. Circuit breaker type ground fault circuit interrupters can be tested using a similar test button or by using a ground fault circuit interrupter tester. It is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions when testing ground fault circuit interrupters. If a ground fault circuit interrupter fails to trip when tested, it should be replaced immediately. In addition to ground fault circuit interrupters, there are other safety measures that can be taken to prevent electrical shocks in commercial kitchens. These include using properly grounded electrical equipment, keeping electrical equipment clean and dry, and avoiding the use of extension cords. It is also important to train employees on the proper use of electrical equipment and the hazards of electrical shock. By following these safety measures, you can help to create a safer work environment for employees and customers in your commercial kitchen. The exceptions to the ground fault circuit interrupter requirements in commercial kitchens are based on the principle that certain types of equipment and appliances pose a lower risk of electrical shock due to their design and usage. For example, appliances that are not portable and are cord connected, such as ranges, ovens, steam tables, and refrigerators, are typically hardwired or cord and plug connected in a manner that minimizes the risk of ground faults. These appliances are also often subject to other safety standards that help to prevent electrical shocks. Similarly, appliances and equipment that are not used in food preparation and processing, such as microwaves, coffee makers, and toasters, are typically located in break rooms or office areas within the commercial kitchen and are not directly exposed to the wet and potentially hazardous conditions of the food preparation area. This reduces the risk of electrical shock, making ground fault circuit interrupter protection less critical. It is important to note that even though certain receptacles may be exempt from the ground fault circuit interrupter requirements, it is still important to follow all other applicable electrical safety codes and standards. This includes ensuring that all electrical equipment is properly grounded, that electrical circuits are not overloaded, and that electrical wiring is in good condition. By following these safety measures, you can help to prevent electrical shocks and other electrical hazards in your commercial kitchen. In addition to the National Electrical Code, there may be other state or local codes that apply to electrical installations in commercial kitchens. It is important to check with your local building department to ensure that you are in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. The information provided in this video is for informational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional electrical advice. If you have any questions about electrical safety or the National Electrical Code, please consult with a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, so it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from electrical shock. Always turn off the power to a circuit before working on it, and use properly insulated tools and equipment. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, please hire a qualified electrician to do the work for you. By following these safety tips, You can help to prevent electrical shocks and other electrical hazards in your home or business. Understanding the National Electrical Code requirements for ground fault circuit interrupter protection in commercial kitchens is essential for ensuring the safety of employees and customers. By complying with these requirements, you can help to prevent electrical shocks and other electrical hazards in your commercial kitchen. Remember to consult the latest edition of the National Electrical Code and to consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions about electrical safety. Ground fault circuit interrupters are a critical safety device that can help to protect individuals from electrical shock. By understanding how ground fault circuit interrupters work and how to use them safely, you can help to create a safer environment for yourself and others. It is also crucial to perform regular testing of GFCIs to ensure continued functionality and protection. Regular inspections and maintenance of electrical systems are key to preventing hazards in commercial kitchens.